cheerleaders, halftime shows, state rivalries, and the big game itself, football, beloved by millions. But did you know that in 1905, college football almost came to a crashing halt when 19 players died during one savage season? That is, until President Theodore Roosevelt got involved. With its roots in the European sports of soccer and rugby, American football took off in the 19th century. The first official college game was played just a few years after the Civil War in 1869, with students at Rutgers and Princeton universities, each fielding teams of 25 players. Back then, the rules were very different, and injury was common. There were no helmets and no protective gear. The ball was batted or kicked with hands, knees, or heads. And in the scramble to score, almost anything went. Gashed foreheads, internal injuries, concussions, and worse were all part of the game. Before the turn of the 20th century, the number of players had gone down to 11 aside, but the violence continued. When 19 players died and 137 suffered serious injuries during the 1905 season, it was nearly game over. Calls for the sport to be banned made it all the way to the White House, where passionate football fan Teddy Roosevelt decided to intervene and save the game. On October 9th, he invited the head coaches and alumni leaders of the top universities to Washington, D.C. for crunch talks. 19 new rules were approved. Despite these changes, American football was notorious for killing and maiming college students every year. 11 players died the following season. And when 26 players lost their lives in 1909, Princeton University President Woodrow Wilson pushed for even more reforms. Today, football is still a dangerous sport. Even with state-of-the-art protective gear, widespread brain damage among players, likely caused by repeated head injury, has been linked to memory loss and even violence. When should the president get involved in issues such as sports?